Back on the maintenance deck, I return to my normal link. I chuckle and send. This is going better than I thought it would. Arlington's sending a big group your way, so you better be careful pulling out. We're already off the flight deck. Good, 'cause Arlington's real mad at you, but he doesn't want to cross Fanyang any further. You've got a short reprieve while they try to restart the hydraulics, so you better make good use of it. Fararata diok. Got to run. Contact me if there's any more news. Hoke, son. I open my eyes again. Sherna's arm is wrapped around mine. I blush and pull away. Sherna shrugs. I was only listening in. Arlington looks real flustered. I smile. I agree. I lead Sherna to another narrow hatch and we step through and take the narrow stairs circling the huge water vat until we reach the floor and go through another narrow hatch. We bend low behind the rows of water tanks growing plants. Sherna whispers. If we go forward any further, we're going to go into the cafeteria. There's going to be a lot of pirates there. I know. I squat to think. Just below us is the primary school and the aft part of the general quarters. General quarters are being used by pirates, but the school should be empty because all the astraci are locked up. We need to get to the school. Sherna nods. The hatch that leads to the kitchen opens. Sherna and I squat lower to the floor. Scar snarls, "Find them or you'll go hungry." We hear a frustrated roar of a large cat. Sherna sends frantically. What was that? I flush and send. They've gotten at Heron Abrock. Abrock are large cats who can change into a humanoid form. They're said to have keen senses. I know. I gulp then concentrate. I send to the cat. At Heron Abrock? The cat sends in a bitter growling voice. That's what I am. Why do you aid the pirates? You think I want to? I'm a slave, slab of meat. What's your name? I am Hyanuris. Well, Hyanuris, I'm sure your sense of smell will tell you that I would be a very inedible meal for you since I'm Saley. I smell your metal hide. But the pirates may give me the girl that's with you. I snap. I care for that girl. I'm not without sympathy, Saley, but I'm hungry. You don't know how much they starve me. I wish I hadn't left at Hara. I can free you. Lead your handler to me and I'll take him out. Are you crazy? He's after you. I know he is. Just act like you haven't found us yet and pass us. I'll jump him and take him out. Then you'll be free. Why should I trust you, Saley? I'm trying to fight to keep my foster family free from slavery and you ask me if you can trust me. You have no idea what I've been through, Saley. You'll get no argument from me. My name is Sonaro. Will you let me help you? Okay, Sonaro, I'll do as you ask, but if you try to hurt me in any way, I'll shred your skin off your bones and leave your meat to rot. Is that clear? Very. Scar says impatiently, well, what are you waiting for? We gave you the scent. Go! Scar's boots tap on the floor as he moves through the tanks of vegetation. No sound is heard from Hyan's claws. I tense at the corner of a row of tanks. Feline Hyan passes me without a glance. I rise up and kick my left foot into Scar's side, then step down behind Scar and swings my right arm to punch Scar in the face. Scar drops to the floor with a bloody nose. I grab him and carefully lower him to the floor. I look up and see a large midnight blue panther. The blue-black fur reverses growth back into the skin, the tail draws in, his face flattens and becomes nearly humanoid in shape, but the hair on his head stays the same color. The large cat is now a tall, emaciated naked humanoid with blue-black hair on his head, but his eyes are still amber and slitted. Under his left eye is a deep scar that ends just below his lips. Humanoid Hyan smiles with sharp teeth. I am in your debt, Sonaro. I didn't want the pirates to keep you. No smart being should be collared and leashed. Shurna gasps. Son, he's naked. I chuckle. Do cats usually wear clothes? Well, I mean, he's going to be very visible to anyone who might follow us. Hyan says, I forgot my manners, ma'am. I should have remembered that my nakedness embarrasses women. I should return to my feline form. Hyan drops to all fours and becomes a large cat again. He says awkwardly. Talk in mind? I nod. We can talk in our minds again. I have a link with you so you can think of what you want to say and I'll hear it. Hyan sends. Thank you. My feline mouth makes forming words difficult. Feline Hyan smiles again. Shurna flinches. It's okay. I do not intend to eat you anymore. Hyan approaches Shurna and nudges her on the legs. Shurna giggles. Oh, son, he's purring. Her name is Shurna. Hyan sends, the girls always like it when I purr. Hyan's ears flatten, his teeth bare and he jerks his head toward the cafeteria doors. Someone approaches. We must go. I rush over to the elevator against the right wall. The door sweeps open and we step in. We leave the elevator and enter an empty classroom. Hyan changes to humanoid form and uses the desks to hide his lower half. You are nothing like the pirates say you are. Shurna snaps. Oh? And what do the pirates say we are like? They say the Astraci are more ruthless than they are. They have no qualms about working children to death. You two are quite young. I say, we're students. We're learning how to fly fighters but we don't have our wings yet. When pirates attack, everyone must stop the attack to save our home. You aren't that much older than we are. Hyan snaps, I'm 17. My point? Hyan snorts then studies the pictures on the wall. I slump in my chair. Let's rest a while before we move on. While we were in Ponix, we should have picked something. I'm hungry. Shurna sits wearily in the desk across the aisle from me. I'm not going back now. Hyan says. Humanoids aren't a normal part of my diet. Anyway, I wouldn't like how Sonaro tastes with all that gold metal in him and I don't like eating pretty girls. They're much better to look at. Shurna rolls her eyes. Humanoid Hyan cocks his head and lets out a little trill. Shurna's eyebrows shoot up and she smiles. I blush. How did you end up with the pirates? You're a long way from home. We're on the other side of the human alliance from Adhera. My father and I had an argument. I went running to ease my temper and got shot by some thugs who were working for the Emperor of the planet Quaman. I reluctantly spent several months as the Emperor's pet and bodyguard. They put a jeweled collar around my neck and told me that if I tried to escape, they would find me because there was a homing device in one of the jewels. There was over 100 jewels on that thing. If he was killed while I was his protector, I would be executed as an accomplice to the murder. The big flaw in his plan was that he kept me locked in my room at night. While I was there, I became close to the Emperor's daughter who felt sorry for me. One night, the Emperor was killed in his sleep. His daughter was awakened by the noise of the guards searching the palace for the murderer. She slipped to my room and unlocked it to allow me to go free so they wouldn't kill me. I fled the palace and met up with some hunters in the woods. I asked them to give me a ride off of Quaman. They agreed. I had no idea that the hunters were illegal poachers. Once we were off Quaman, they began to argue between them about if they should skin me and sell my pelt until the one poacher warned the other about the stiff penalties Adhera enforced on anyone who attempted to sell a Brock pelts. Our pelts are hard to mistake from other feline pelts because we're larger and have unusual color. Since they decided not to risk the Adheran laws, they decided to make profit from me by selling me to the pirates. I've been a slave to the pirates since then. I sigh. Your history is about as sad as mine. I promise you, you will see your father again. If I do see him again, I will apologize to him for being so stubborn. I stand to stretch out my tension. Deok sends anxiously. Son, link with me now. Dee's calling. Got to concentrate. I concentrate on Deok sending.
I sit at the communication station with my chair facing the main screen at the fore of the bridge. Arlington is standing rigidly beside the command chair. On the main screen is an enraged Fanyang. I've been waiting my whole career to get my hands on an Astrosea ship, and you're telling me that I can't board? We're still trying to get the flight deck working, Fanyang. Believe me, I'm not trying to keep you away. I know that you stole money from your own co-workers back on Regulus. No, it's nothing like that, Fanyang. I'm not trying to double-cross you. Those miners were fools to scramble for the measly wages the company threw at us. I know you're much smarter than they were, but I'm telling the truth. That's right. I am smarter than they were. You better open that ship for me within the hour, or I'm taking it from you. Then I'll throw your lifeless body to my Petabrock. He hasn't eaten in days. Fanyang narrows his eyes. That is, if you haven't fed him for me. I've got him hunting for some kids that slipped from us, but they'll be found soon. I told you that all Astrosea are dangerous, including their children. You better not loose that ship or you're dead. Do you understand me? Yes, Fanyang. I'll find the kids and get the flight deck working. Fanyang holds up a finger. 1 hour. Arlington repeats. 1 hour. Arlington nods, then the screen returns to the view of space. He turns to his pirates. Bastard. Find Scar and get that damned cat finding that Saley. If I go, you go too, Aldi. Aldenon nods gravely before he bounds up the stairs. Arlington massages his temples. I feel Sonaro withdraw to his normal link.
Ain't that a hoot? I sigh. That makes them more deadly, Deok. Fararefte, friend. Keep me posted on any more developments. Hoke, son. I shift my concentration on Lasha. Lasha? Son, it's been long since I heard from you. Are you still free? Hoke, and the flight deck is still offline. They're having a devil of a time getting it reset too. Good news. There's a new development though. I've been in contact with Deok, who is still manning the comm on the bridge. The pirate leader Fanyang is furious with Arlington. He's accusing Arlington of cutting him off from the company so that Arlington can keep the Astrosea tech for himself. He threatened that if he didn't reset the flight deck in an hour, he's going to attack the company with his remaining force. Just what we need, another fight. But I have an idea that we can use to our advantage. When Fanyang's forces attack, the pirates on the company are going to be scrambling to fight back. That's when I want you to have everyone attack the remaining guard and begin to take back our ship. While you're doing that, I'm going to sneak onto the bridge with Deok's help and take on Arlington. He won't be prepared for me this time. How are you going to get onto the bridge unseen? I'll work that out when we get there. We'll be ready. Shad's voice cuts into the link. Sonaro. I end the link with Lasha to concentrate on Shad. Hoke, Shad. I'm very concerned about you facing Arlington alone. Son, I did a scan on Arlington. Did you ever mind slap him? I did mind slap him when he grabbed my hair to keep me from fleeing after I saw them taking the company's fuel. You caused damage to his brain. I think he's insane. Oh? I didn't think I slapped him that hard. I was very scared. I didn't mean to damage his mind. But I can't stop now. I have to free the ship. I'll be careful, okay? Okay. I end the connection and turn my attention back to the classroom we hide in. We have to go after Arlington now. Fanyang is about to attack the company again. Isn't there any way we can get food? I really wasn't lying when I told you they've been starving me. I know. I could see your ribs. Maybe we can go to Shurna's parents' apartment. Baya may have something in the refrigerator we could eat. I don't know. My mother isn't a cook like yours. Can't we go to your apartment? My apartment is too close to the floor near the hospital so Shad can get there quicker. It might be too close to the pirates. Oh, you're right. Okay, we might have something left over. Shurna, Hyan and I leave the classroom. Humanoid Hyan changes to feline form to travel easier. We travel down the hall until we come to stairs going down. We take 2 flights of stairs then turn right down the hall to another door. Shurna stops at a door. Akla. The door sweeps open. Shurna goes to the kitchen to find food. Sit down, guys. I found something. I'll heat it up and be with you in a few minutes. While we're waiting, let's go to her brother's room to find you some clothes. Hyan changes to humanoid form. Okay. I go through Deok's clothes and pull out a pair of navy blue leggings and a russet-colored tunic. Hyan puts the clothes on. We return to the living room. Hyan sits at the dining room chair. I join Hyan to sit at the diner table. This is where Shurna lives. Yes, as well as my best friend and her parents. Shurna enters the dining area with a serving bowl of food. Oh good, you're dressed. Now I'm not so embarrassed to look at you. I groan. Lavoka so listy. It's food. Hyan says, what is Lavoka so listy? Shurna returns with plates and forks. Lavoka is shellfish and listy is noodles. Hyan licks his lips. I'll eat anything. Shurna puts the steaming food onto the plates and eats eagerly. I wrinkle my nose. All right. I'll eat it. I'm hungry. After the food is gone, I begin to drift to sleep but I'm startled by Deok shouting in my head. Son, link with me now. I jerk awake and complete the link to Deok.
I'm at the communication station turned to look at Arlington who paces the bridge and massages his temples. What's wrong with those stupid idiots? Maggot at the helm says, the system must have a certain process to turn it back on. Then tell them to grab an astrosy and threaten to kill him unless they give us the procedure to turn it back on. I report uncomfortably. The pirate ship is launching attack ships. The main screen shows the large ship with small dots appearing around it. If he wants a fight, that's what he'll get. Maggot, round up the other pilots and fly them out of that cargo bay. Take Funyon's fighters out. Maggot is looking unbelieving. You want us to fight our fellow shipmen? I'm not giving up this ship without a fight. I want it and I'm going to keep it until every damned astrosy is dead. Arlington pulls out his pistol. If you don't go, you'll be ashes on the deck. Maggot growls. I'm going. He sprints up the stairs. That goes for all of you. Arlington waves his pistol around. If you don't follow my orders, you'll be ashes as well. The others shake their heads then turn back to their stations. Arlington smirks. I'm glad we're in agreement. He sits in the command chair and stares worriedly at the main screen. I feel Sonaro return to his passive link.
I send to Deok. It's time we make our move. Be ready for me to tell you we're at the bridge. Deok sends. I'll be listening. I return my attention to Shurna and Hyan. Deok says Funyang is sending attack ships to forcefully take the Kumani from Arlington. We need to find our way into the bridge now. Shurna takes the plates to the kitchen then returns to stand beside me. Hyan shifts to his feline form. He still wears the shirt but his pants are pushed off by his tail. I pick up the pants and sling it over my shoulder. We leave the apartment and I lead Shurna and Hyan down the hall. The ship shudders. I fall against a mural of a pink and purple nebula and hold on as 2 more impacts strike the ship. It seems that Funyang is carrying out his threat. I hope Lasha makes her move soon. Shurna smirks. You can beat the Astracy but they won't stay down. Hyan sends. I hope this works. We quiet down as we approach an intersection. I nod for us to hide in a recessed door and send. Inside the apartment, now. I sense 3 pirates coming our way. I say out loud, Akla. Shurna, Hyan and I rush through the door. The state of the apartment shocks Shurna and me. The living room is a complete mess. Every drawer is open. The contents are spilled onto the floor and there are dirty dishes on every flat surface. Hyan growls and sends. Pirates are living here. Their filthy stench is everywhere. I send. The pirates are passing now. We can go back to the hallway. After a few minutes, we return to the intersection. I massage my ear and snap, Hyan, I sense someone near but I can't get a lock on his location. Can you help me? Hyan sends. That would be Kurajan, he is a strange one. He says he's from a planet that is beyond the Alliance. Shurna sends. There are populated planets beyond the Alliance. What race is Kurajan from? He calls himself a Koijan. Son, Koijans are what we Astracy call the shadow people because they have dark skin that blends with the shadow. They are a race of assassins. I sigh. And nearly invisible to Sali telepathy. Hyan adds. But not to Abrak noses. Hyan trots down the hall. After a few turns, he slows down and turns to voice a low growl, then looks toward the right. I approach the dark form and launch a flying kick toward Kurajan's face. With surprising speed, Kurajan avoids the kick. I land my foot on the wall, then kick off in the direction Kurajan ducks. I land on my left foot and punch out with my right hand. My fist lands on Kurajan's chest. Several ribs crack. Kurajan hisses, falls back a few paces and pulls a laser gun out of his dark clothes. I sprint to close in on Kurajan. Hyan roars and leaps between us just as the weapon discharges. He yelps and falls to the floor. I lunge for Kurajan and slam the blade of my hand down on Kurajan's wrist. The pistol falls from Kurajan's temporarily numbed hand. I grab the same hand in my left and jerk Kurajan into the wall. Another crack sounds and dark blood streams from Kurajan's flat nose. He slides down the wall, unconscious. I grab Kurajan's weapon, then rush over to where Shurna kneels over Hyan. The fur on Hyan's shoulder is burned away and his pink skin is already blistering. I sigh. Thank you, friend. He was faster than I was. I would have died if you hadn't taken the shot for me. Hyan sends. My debt to you is paid for freeing me from the pirates. We're taking you to the hospital. Shurna shakes her head. The hospital? Are you Rachi, son? Pirates will be all over that hospital. I can't leave him here. Hyan sends. Yes, you can. If you take me to the hospital, I'll be back in the hands of pirates. I can help you no longer, so help me into an apartment and I will hide under a bed or something. You free your ship and then you can return for me. I sigh. Okay. I pick up Hyan and take him into the nearest apartment, then lay him on a bedroom floor. Hyan uses his right paw and legs to pull himself under the bed. Shurna strokes Hyan's tail at the edge of the shadow. Take care, Hyan. We'll return for you. Hyan sends. I will be fine here. He pulls his tail farther under the bed. Shurna stands up and returns to my side. We return to the hallway. We travel to a bulkhead between the general quarters and the control center. The walls ring with echoes of the battle inside and out. A laser bolt almost singes my right ear. I press myself into the recessed doorway with Shurna below me. I pull out Kurajan's laser and return fire. Shurna says. Oh Fauza, they know we're here now. Nui, I sense they don't know who they're fighting. I gasp when I see Aldenon among the pirates. What's wrong, Son? Your skin is almost white. Algernon just joined the fight. Sherna groans. Now Arlington has to know. Algernon stands and shoots in the center of the hall. Shitan shouts. Get down, you idiot. Everything is falling apart anyway. Hell, my life started falling apart the day I told Arlington I would join his scheme to steal the Serenium and sell it to the black market. I just didn't see my stupid mistake until everything was in flames. You're crazy, Algernon. You're right, Shitan, I am crazy. Algernon continues to fire without protection. Sherna says. You were right, Son, you did see them stealing fuel. That doesn't bring me much comfort. I guess it doesn't, but at least what you thought they were doing that night was right. Algernon walks down the hall with laser streams flowing on either side of him. His face is as impassive as a mask. You're right, Sonaro, it doesn't bring any comfort. That energy bolt should have hit me instead of your mother and brother. I snap. It had been meant for you. Instead, it hit my mother, brother then me. Algernon spreads his arms out on either side of him and drops the pistol. So shoot me, Sonaro. Then you'll have revenge for all the pain I caused you. I level my laser toward Aldernon's chest, but I can't make my finger squeeze the trigger. I lower my weapon and take a deep breath before I raise it again. Sherna gasps. This isn't the way, Son. I try to trigger my weapon but my finger just won't move. I lower my weapon. I can't do it. It wouldn't be right. Shitan shouts, traitor. Shitan shoots Algernon in the back. Algernon dies with a smile on his face. I fire my laser down the hall at the remaining pirates. The pirates are seen to move in slow motion and I shoot them all with great precision. Sherna gasps. Iachiawe, Son, that was incredible. You didn't miss a single shot. I say numbly. I got mad. We double back the way we came. Sherna rushes to catch up with me. If you can manage to entrance yourself like that in every battle, you can become unstoppable. I sigh. I did what had to be done. We can't fight our way through the pirates who are guarding the door. I sense that the security bulkhead is back down anyway. I won't do that again. Let's retreat and figure out another way onto the bridge. Okay. I huff. How can we get through the security bulkhead without trying Lasha's plan again? Sherna shakes her head. We don't dare try that again. She holds onto the wall as the ship shudders. There's only one other way I know we can go. I groan. Nui, I can't go into those access tunnels. It's the only way, Son. I shudder. Diok and I used to play in those tunnels all the time before you came. We found that a tunnel goes behind the control center to a panel just under the communications console. I know Diok won't tell Arlington that we're coming out of that panel. It's the only other way. I say with dread. Okay, somehow I'll get myself through that tunnel. We enter an apartment with minimal lighting. Sherna goes to a large square access hatch slightly outlined from the wall. She opens the door. I gulp. Come on, Son, you're wasting time. I force myself to squat down. My legs begin to shake. I drop to my knees, close my eyes then crawl forward. Sherna pushes my buttocks. Open your eyes, silly. I swat the air behind me. Sherna. Well, I can't get around your thick metallic body so you have to go on. I reluctantly open my eyes. I curl up into a ball, lay my cheek on the floor and put my arms over my head. Son. Sherna arches her body over my back. Her face hangs upside down with her golden blonde hair brushing the dirty floor. I roll onto my back, grab Sherna and hug her. I shake and bury my face into her hair. Sonaro. I pant. I can't do it. The walls are too close. A simulator room isn't much bigger than this place and you manage to train in there all the time. It's not the same. When it turns on like I'm in the Vishai in space, I'm not scared. I can get out of there whenever I want to. I can't get out of here. I need to get out. Settle down. Take a few deep breaths. I take 2 sobbing deep breaths and exhale slowly. Sherna's face shows concentration in the near darkness. The near darkness transforms into space with bright-colored stars and rainbow particle clouds. Is that better? I gasp. You're projecting a spacescape into my mind. Can you let me go now? Oh, Iachi away. We can't feel this way, Sherna. It's forbidden. Sherna snaps. The law of mating is to marry girls into the other ships to ensure that the Astraci don't interbreed with their own relatives. You aren't a relative. You aren't even Astraci. But I've grown up with you. You and Diok were my first friends here. Things have changed between you and me since since our bodies changed. There are so many new different feelings we're feeling now. Maybe we're confusing what we feel for something else. I nod. Maybe that's it. I release my hold around Sherna's shoulders. Sherna pulls back to her position behind me while she keeps the image she's sending to me. I grudgingly move through the tunnel. We're almost there. After about 8 more steps, we come to a T intersection. I look back at her and she gestures to turn right. I scrape my side as I struggle to make the tight turn. Sherna cringes. Oh, that must have hurt. You're so thick-bodied. Nui Fauza. I sit down and rub my side to relieve my stinging skin. Well, you don't have to cuss at me. Cuss I. Evita. The rest of the way is straight. I pull myself back to my hands and knees and continue on. I stop at a grill. I send. Diok, we're right under your console, so act like nothing's happening. Diok sends. Hoke. Careful, Son, Tweedledee and Tweedledum are guarding me. I put my hand over my mouth to stifle a guffaw. The characters from Into the Looking Glass. Varanani used to read that to me before I went to bed. Tweedledee sends in a flowing voice. Our names are he with the lavender crest and she with the sorrowful eyes. I shift to include the new voice. I apologize, he with the lavender crest and she with the sorrowful eyes. So why didn't you tell them your proper names? We are exiles. We have nowhere to go. They give us what we need if we obey their commands. The one they call Arlington is without half his mind. He refuses to accept that all is lost. He is angry with Finyang and wills for all to be destroyed before he faces his failure. Will you allow my friend and me entrance to the bridge to end this before we are all dead? Tweedledum sends. We will permit. We will not make warning. Thank you, she with the sorrowful eyes. Diok sends. Raging Roger is stomping down the stairs. I chuckle. Raging Roger? Hoke, that's what the pirates are calling him when he's not around. He shakes the whole bridge. I'm surprised it doesn't echo through the whole ship. Are the pirates attacking outside or was the shuddering of the ship just Raging Roger's stomping? Oh, make no mistake, the pirates are pounding the Fauza out of us. Arlington shouts. Get that goddamn backstabbing pirate Finyang on screen now, gypsy trash. I pull back into the shadows of the access tunnel. Diok works his board. He sends. That's me. He's always calling me gypsy trash. He says out loud. He's not answering. Arlington stomps back to the comm station. Then make him answer. I can't complete the link if no one responds to my signal. Arlington shoves Diok to the floor. Arlington pokes at the communications board then slams his fist down on the console. Shitan runs down the stairs covered in char marks. Arlington snaps. What? The Astraci have managed to take all the levels below the bridge. They're vicious. We took them once before. What's wrong with you? Get out of my sight and beat those damn gypsies back into the cargo hold. Shoot all of them if you have to. Ikelta calls. Arlington. What the hell is wrong now? The remains of our fighters that were parked in the cargo hold have been overwhelmed. Fenyang is moving in on us. This scow has armament. Fire them. Arlington stomps back to the commander's chair. Shurna and I slip out of the hatch and over to where Diok lays on the floor. His face twists in pain as he clutches his left arm. I whisper. Lay still, my friend. Your arm is wretched. You've done your part and now it's my turn. Diok nods and lays back down. I take a deep breath to steady myself for the fight. Shurna whispers. You can do this, Son. I stride over and lay a hand on Arlington's shoulder. Arlington turns. When he sees me, his eyes widen. I slam my fist into Arlington's face. Arlington presses one hand on his burning face. He pulls his laser pistol out of its holster at his side. I step forward, swing my leg in an arc and kick the pistol from Arlington's hand. The pistol skids across the floor and bounces off the wall under a computer console. I snap. I'm not so innocent now, thanks to you, Arlington. I don't understand you. These people killed your family. Did you ever think that if you had just given Belso his fuel, that the mining colony would not have been attacked? It was your father who denied Belso his fuel. You didn't have to keep his illness untreated, but you used him to cover your criminal activities. Who would doubt a telepath? No one should have died that day. Not even my father. But did I have a choice? I was just a stupid child. My feelings weren't important. Did you know that because you let my dad be sick that he was losing his temper and beating on us? Arlington's face hardens. So, you wouldn't know. You were too busy showing your son how to beat up on a kid that was half his size. I'm not so little now, Arlington. Do you want to try to beat me up? These gypsies have brainwashed you. And pirating is a good job change? Arlington bellows and launches his fist at me. I slap aside Arlington's fist then poke his side. Arlington drops to the floor. He stands up on his left leg. I sweep my right foot behind Arlington's foot and drop him back to the floor. Arlington swings his fist out to hit the back of my knee. I pull my leg up and stomp Arlington's hand into the floor. Arlington howls and pulls his injured hand out. The other pirates on the bridge stiffly approach me. I drop into a defensive crouch. Hellerman reaches me and grins from his imposing height. He holds his arms out to grab me from above. I almost laugh when I simply kick Hellerman's shin. Hellerman hops on one foot, clutching his shin and falls into the navigator's chair. He stands up and pulls his laser out. I slam Hellerman into the wall and the computer console. Hellerman drops the laser and slides down to the floor, clutching the small of his back. I whirl around and block a fist that flies toward my face. With my other hand, I thrust my fist deep into Ikelta's abdomen. Ikelta croaks and doubles over. I double fist the base of Ikelta's skull. Ikelta's legs buckle. She slams to the floor and lays still. Shitan weaves his hands through intricate series of karate strokes then throws a fury of fists to my face. I block each one and make the same moves. Most of the punches are blocked. Shitan throws a punch. I block it. Shitan whirls around to kick me with his right foot. I sweep his arm down to block then throw a punch to Shitan's side. I connect. Shitan's breath came out as a woof. He recovers and resumes his stance, his face red with anger. I bellow and launch a flying dragon kick. Shitan grabs my ankle and slams me to the floor. I slap the floor to cushion my landing, then flip backwards to my feet. Shitan follows me. I cross my arms in front of myself and catch Shitan's fist between my wrists. I grab Shitan's arms, bend sideways and launch Shitan over my hip into the air. Shitan crashes down on the commander's chair, then slips limply to the floor. Arlington almost trips over Deok as he rushes away from the commander's chair so that Shitan wouldn't hit him. Deok grabs Arlington's ankle. Arlington falls on his hands and knees to the floor. Arlington turns on Deok. I pull Arlington off the floor. You would hurt my friend when he's already injured. You are a mean man, Roger Arlington, just like Jake. Arlington glares. Don't you understand yet, boy? They killed Jake. Arlington spits in my face. Haven't you heard a word I've said? If you had just given Belso his fuel, he wouldn't have called an airstrike on Regulus. No one would have died if you hadn't stolen the fuel, so you could have money the company was refusing to pay because a mine collapsed. You had to have money while we did without. I shove Arlington away. Arlington falls against the commander's chair, then turns around with Shitan's pistol in his hands. I launch a flying kick into Arlington's abdomen. Arlington croaks, drops the pistol and grabs his stomach. Blood trickles from his mouth and nose. I kick the pistol back toward Deok and Sherna. You killed Jake with your selfishness. Arlington snaps his head up with fury in his eyes. He pushes himself off the back of the chair with his fingers curling to grasp my neck. I bat Arlington's arms upward, then smash my fist into Arlington's chest. A sickening crack sounds and Arlington collapses to the floor. Blood now flows from his mouth. I sway and steady myself with the commander's chair. Deok, can you open the security bulkhead and call for a medical team? Arlington needs immediate medical attention. Sherna rushes up to hug me. You did it. We won our ship back. Deok swings his good arm around my shoulders and grins. We're an unstoppable team. A loud hum accompanies the raising of the security bulkhead. Lasha is in the lead of a large group of Astraci who flood through the door. She bends over the railing to look down upon me, Sherna and Deok. I grin. Arlington and his bridge crew are defeated, Lasha. Lasha bounds down the stairs. You did this by yourself. Deok crows. All three as well as Arlington. Son was awesome. He grimaces and grips his hurt shoulder. I bow head. I failed you once. I wasn't going to fail you again. Lasha grins. You surpassed all expectation, Son. As Deok said, you were awesome. Shad leads a crew of medical personnel down the stairs. They fan out to check everyone. Shad squats down beside Arlington. I ask. Is he still alive? Shad says. His pulse is thready and he has massive internal injuries. I'll try my best, but it's grim. I didn't mean to hit him so hard. He made me mad. Shad pats my shoulder. You did what you had to do. Lasha adds. Don't be so down, Son. It's time for celebrations. We have won our home back. But Belso is dead because of me. You're tired. It's been an exhausting few days. Sherna, if you're not hurt, walk Son home so he can rest. Hoke. Sherna grins and wraps her hand around my arm. Twiddledee sends. Thank you for ending this. Twiddledee and Twiddledum are led away at gunpoint. I send. You're welcome. Lasha says. Deok, you're relieved to get treatment at the hospital. The three of you did a fantastic job. If you're this good as students, you're definitely going to be an asset to this ship once you graduate. Sherna pulls me to the stairs and we slowly walk up the stairs. I stop and turn around. Shad, there's an Abrak hiding under a bed in General Quarters 32. He helped Sherna and me avoid capture. He's got a burned shoulder. Would you help him? Shad turns away from Arlington. And Abrock? Abrock can be dangerous. I freed him from the pirates. He'll cooperate if you tell him that you're my foster father. I'll do that. Shad turns back to the wounded. Lasha turns to Kiel, who had taken Diok's station. Is the hydraulic systems back online, Kiel? Flight control reports a successful restart. I will take this moment to announce to you that Belso named me as his successor if he was ever killed. Scramble Vishai. Let's take out the Fauza. Shurna, Diok and I climb upstairs. Shurna gasps. Lasha is commander. I say. I wonder who is going to be announced as team leader to her green team. Her team's second died fighting the pirate boarding. We'll know soon enough. Now you two need to rest. We leave the bridge. We drop Diok off at the hospital to get his shoulder treated, then travel on to where I live. At Shad's and Adara's apartment, we walk in. Adara, swollen with child and her orange-red curly hair tied in a ponytail, studies a piece of a greenware vase that was a pile of shards and dirt on the floor. I was really starting to like that piece. Adara sets the piece into the pile, then sweeps the mound into the dustpan, then goes to a barrel where she keeps her slip and pours the piece in. She lays down the dustpan and broom to hug me and Shurna. Oh, here I am sad about a throwing and you've just saved all our lives. Both of you look exhausted. Audrey rushes from her room. Sana, you did it. Adara says. Audrey, Son is very tired. He needs to sleep. Adara takes my other arm and helps Shurna walk me into my room. I pull away and turn on the computer to tie in with the view of the battle from the ship's sensors. I can't miss this. Adara shakes her head. Well, alright, if that's what you want to do. Fighter planes loop and dive all over the screen. Pirate ships blossom into fireballs. I sigh. I wish I was out there. We will be out there in time, Son, but we're just students. I look away deflated. If Philp gets his way, I may never fly. Come on. Before, Lasha had to convince her arguments about you to Philp. Now that she's Belso's successor, he has to listen to her. Everything will be okay. You heard her, she told us we did a great job retaking the ship. But it looks like I turned my back on the Astrasea when I forced Perla to help Arlington open the security door. Who will trust me now? That was Lasha's plan. She'll say that you were following her orders. It's better to follow orders than to refuse. They'll have to consider that. I put my chin in my hand. I guess. Look, Son. I dry my eyes, then look at the screen again. The last pirate fighter flashes out of existence. I cheer. Haiko. The pirate mothership enlarges on the screen. 2 flashes appear on the lower corners of the screen. After a steady stream of energy for about a minute, the pirate ship expands like a bloated whale, then flies apart in all directions. I grip the desk to steady myself through the buffeting of the ship. The fighter planes arch around and fly back home. We hug each other. I pull back self-consciously and study the floor. Shurna's face reddens. I whisper. We can't let them know. Why can't we? Your father still threatens to shove me through the airlock. If he knew your feelings for me, he'll kill you. Shurna sighs. You're right. Let's keep this our secret. We're just kids. I smile. At least we have our friendship. Later, I walk into the hospital and nod to Danu. Danu says. Kiwa, Son. Can I see Hyan? Danu strides down the hall. It's a good thing it was only a flesh wound. Neither Shad or my mother know anything about Abrock medicine. Danu stops at a door and points to it. We walk through the door. I see humanoid Hyan lays in bed. His bare shoulder is swathed in bandages. Thank you, Sonaro. I am free from the pirates because of you. I sit down on the foot of Hyan's bed. Well, if I hadn't, that Koijin would have killed me. You are a great friend and good hunting mate, Son. I will not forget you or Shurna. I will never forget you either, my friend. I pat Hyan's covered legs before I stand up and leave the room. Shad walks up to us from down the hallway and hugs me. I am so proud of you, Son, the whole ship is talking about your bravery. I blush and flip my hair into my face. Philp stands beside Shad with his arm in a sling. I shouldn't have tried to force you back. You really surprised me. I guess you were listening to Lotto's lectures on stealth and strategy. Philp presses a brown paper package into my hand then leaves. I study the package for a minute. Donu snaps. Open it, silly. I tear the paper and freeze in shock. Inside is a white sash with a yellow stripe on its tail. Haiko. It's a near-color sash. I reverently holds up the new sash. Donu unties my unadorned sash. I take a deep breath to steady himself before I tie the yellow striped sash around my waist. Donu yelps. You've earned it. Shad nods. You did it. You showed Philp that you would defend the ship. You've made great strides today in your acceptance by the Astracy. I grin. I'm going to fly Vishai. Later, in the cargo hold, I gather with the rest of the Astracy for Belso's funeral. Lasha stops beside a coffin and faces the crowd. Brothers and sisters, it is time for another brother to make the journey back to our dead world. Belso was a strong man. He was proud and dedicated to leading the Kumani from port to port. We flourished from his many successful business arrangements and we were protected by his wise calls to battle when danger threatened us. Now the sash has been passed on because it was our tragedy that he was gunned down by boarding pirates. Lasha holds up the silken black sash with the symbol of the Kumani embroidered on the tails. He lived a warrior, he died a warrior. Now let Iyachiawe fly him home to join Kumani, the builder of this grand ship that is our home. For stevedores move forward and load the coffin into the airlock. The door is closed, the airlock cycles and is opened. Several sobs are heard. I look over to Belso's daughter, Donne. Surprisingly, she looks straight at me and smiles. After the crowd disperses, I move over to Donne. She talks to Shurna when I step beside her. Donne says, "Don't look so sad, Sonaro. I gave away Lasha's plans to the enemy." Shurna shakes her head. "You couldn't have known that he knew when you were sending." Donne says, "You were just a little kid when you knew him. I know that I didn't pay much attention to the people Dad always worked with and you probably didn't either. We're just new at this stuff." Second-in-command Nasu rushes at me angrily. "I can't believe you of all people would be spouting this nonsense at your father's funeral. That Unkakab gave him away to the enemy and now he's dead." I turn away to hide the tears stinging my eyes. "So the coward turns his back?" Shurna snaps, "Sonaro went back and defeated Arlington and you insult him?" Lotto snaps. "Enough. The boy doesn't need your condescension, Nasu. He saved our lives with his daring sabotage of the hydraulic systems, then facing the pirate himself. He has my respect and that's a lot coming from an old fighter pilot like me." I smile at Lotto who nods then goes into the crowd. I say, "Oh, Lasha's coming this way." Lasha stops beside me. "Sonaro, may I talk with you?" "Sure." Lasha sighs. "I tried getting Hada to take over for me to train you, but Philp did not agree. However, Philp did demand that he be in charge of your training. You did impress him with the implementation of your second plan. Build on your experience from this and you will make a fine warrior." I huff. "But Philp won't be easy to please." "It won't be easy, but he'll give you the best training anybody could give you. I'll still watch over you. Don't forget that. If you have any problems, come to me. Hulk. I have gotten you through the door, Sonaro. The future is yours to make or break. Lasha moves on. I look out the window and see a streak of light. Rest well, Belso. I promise I won't let the Astracy down again. Shurna stops beside me. Come on, Son. They're serving the food. I smile and turn away to join my friends. The end.